Nashville, Tennessee. A federal judge on Monday reduced a prison sentence to probation for a former Tennessee lawmaker whose testimony helped convict the former state House Speaker and his one-time aide of public corruption. Although her cohorts were pardoned by President Donald Trump, Republican Representative Robin Smith had been slated to report to prison for an 8-month sentence. But U.S. District Judge Eli Richardson in Nashville on Monday reduced it to 1 year of probation. Smith had been instrumental in helping prosecutors secure convictions against Republican ex-House Speaker Glenn Casada and his former aide, Cade Cothran, who along with Smith created a shadowy company to win taxpayer-funded work to send mailings to constituents. She had cut a deal with prosecutors to cooperate in the trial and testify about the scheme. But about 2 weeks after Smith was sentenced in late October, Trump pardoned Casada and Cothran, sparing them time behind bars. In September, the judge sentenced Casada to 3 years in prison and Cothran to 2.5 years. Smith's attorneys had asked the judge to reduce her sentence to probation, saying it would be a manifest injustice if she alone went to prison for collective criminal activity, alongside Casada and Cothran. The U.S. Attorney's Office also favored a change to probation in the case's narrow circumstances, saying it has not identified another federal case in which a testifying conspirator reported to prison after an equally culpable conspirator was pardoned. Smith said she is still seeking a pardon from Trump and has continued faith in this process. "I have been overwhelmed with kind words, prayers, and continued support of those whose friendships are literal treasures," Smith said in a statement Monday. "God's goodness has been through people. Just amazing." Smith's attorney, Ben Rose, said a presidential pardon would resolve her probationary term and let her recover nearly $30,000 she's paid in restitution. The judge's reason for changing Smith's sentence was filed under seal. The corruption trial involved activities while Casada was a lawmaker but after he had resigned as Speaker in 2019 following a no-confidence vote by fellow Republicans due to swirling scandals. Cothran had stepped down in 2019 from his job amid allegations. Government prosecutors said that Cothran launched a company called Phoenix Solutions with the knowledge and support of Casada and Smith. The three claimed the company was run by A. Matthew Phoenix, and the companies controlled by Casada and Smith received roughly $52,000 in taxpayer money in 2020 from a program used by lawmakers to send mailings to constituents. Matthew Phoenix signature ended up on an IRS tax document. The goal was to use the state-funded work to launch into more lucrative business opportunities, according to prosecutors. During the trial last year, defense attorneys tried to portray Smith as untrustworthy and driven by hopes for a lenient sentence. Smith testified at the trial that the goal of the scheme was to hide who was behind Phoenix Solutions due to the radioactive scandal that pushed Casada and Cothran out of power. Smith pleaded guilty to 1 count of honest services wire fraud. A jury found Casada and Cothran guilty of various charges, including use of a fictitious name to carry out fraud, honest services wire fraud and money laundering. Smith, a former county and state GOP leader, was elected to the state house in 2018 to represent part of Hamilton County. She resigned her seat in early 2022 amid her plea deal.